So I had the opportunity to have Greg Reisdorf, the former creative director for Call of Duty, most recently in charge of delivering the Modern Warfare 3 experience. He's also done Advanced Warfare. He's done what is it? Call of Duty World War II, and a number of other games under his belt. He is been making the rounds on social media, has a new project out after leaving Call of Duty. But I was able to sit down and have him on the podcast and pick his brain. And so I wanted to actually kind of bring some of that to you. So this is going to the start of an ongoing series where we talk to Greg and we get his insights and his ideas on what's going on. In this case, today, what we're going to actually hear him talk about and we're going to go get into is kind of some of the back end reasons why Modern Warfare 3 actually worked really well. For everyone who hasn't caught up yet, Modern Warfare 3 kind of launched as a dud. It didn't launch well. It wasn't well received at the beginning, but it is currently regarded as one of the best live service experiences Call of Duty has put forth, and possibly in terms of at least the creativity and the enjoyment of the game is one of the best games they've put out. And so we are talking with Greg kind of about what went on, behind the scenes. How did this happen? And some of the ideas and the concepts driving his views and his approaches to the game. So without further ado, introduce Greg Reisdorf and my podcast co-host J007 TV. And tune in and let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next one. Yeah. How much time do you guys spend? Like when I was in tech, when we had a big project coming up, right, there would be sometimes months of literally just meetings and discussion and whiteboards. Yeah. So many whiteboards. We went through so many whiteboard markers just trying to figure out like what we wanted it to look like at the end of the day, and like who is it for and why are we doing it, and like all of these questions. Yeah. And then, and we'd kind of like we'd almost like design the whole thing on paper before we ever like put one line of code together. Yep. Yeah. Do you guys, is that process, there?
That is very studio dependent. I'm positive. Like, and the way that I did it, I have two kind of concepts around design. Like, so there's theory design, and then there's, implementation design, and there's like get it done design. And so it's, theory design is like, well, why would we have jump in the game? Why should you be able to ADS? Why should you be able to, do these things, which is interesting, right? And it's all great in theory, and you can talk about it, you can write papers on it, you can fill out, many Confluence pages of, your thoughts. And then there's the other side of it, which is, well, we have to get it done and we need it to be fun. So what are the exploits that happen when we jump, right? Like 90% of the reason why we didn't have, jump in Godfather was like, the reason I was told was, because mobsters don't jump. It was like, well, yeah, but we're literally competing with GTA. Right? Like we're literally trying to compete with GTA, and we're not going to put jump in the game. It's like, well, it would cause too many bugs because we're already through all of this, and now you just can't jump anywhere. It's like, well, cool, that's great, but that's a huge like component of the game that just doesn't work. Like when you go to a rooftop, you have to walk all the way down the stairs. It's like, well, why? Okay, so we're not going to put rooftops anywhere. We're not going to put stairs anywhere. We just took out an entire, chunk of the game because this feature wasn't there, because it was just designed around the theory that this is how the world works in our space. Mm-hmm. And then in Call of Duty, it's like, well, you need to be playtesting every day. Playtest. And if you don't have a team at a playtest, you're failing. And those are the playtests where it's the feedback and the meetings that need to be happening. And those are like trying to get people into those playtests and actually like be on stream. Like it was actually much better. I don't know. This is debatable. Like most people will probably flame me for saying that it was, playtests were better in person. They weren't better in person. Playtests were horrible in person, because people would be playing and then they just go off and they go back to their wherever. You couldn't see what they were doing. You would have to walk around. You could watch them, which was cool. You would go and watch them. But streaming playtests with the team on whatever we used, I forget what we used now, but I guess it would have been Teams at the end, or Zoom. We just get a Zoom call going and just everybody's playing, everybody's streaming your version of the game, and you can see what everybody else is seeing, and you're playing for an hour every day, and you're just talking like actual players, and be like, this sucks, like what the fuck is this, like why is this piece of collision here, why is this thing here, why can't I do this? Oh, what would be cool? It'd be cool if I could jump 10 stories in the air and then slam back down and grab you by the throat and rape it out. Like, that'd be awesome. It's like, okay, cool, let's go do that. And like, that's like 90% of our live season and how we built it, because we had to be quick and we had to be able to, just generate cool ideas and, execute on them. And it was just doing, and it was just like, okay, let's go. That sounds cool. Sounds good enough. Let's go make it, and then get it done and iterate on it. I think one of the Juggermosh mode, I don't know if you guys played that or not, it was one of the hardest modes to make. And it was literally, just bullet sponge characters from, why can't I think of Juggermosh? Juggernauts from, what was that? Warhammer. Warhammer. God, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. But it was a really simple idea, and it was horrible at first. It was absolutely horrible. And then we just iterated through it and made it, somewhat passable. And at the end, it was kind of fun. And then people liked it. And it was just enough change to be interesting, but not enough to throw people completely for a loop.
Yeah. That was a really interesting mode. It was different. It was very different than, most of the core multiplayer modes that you run into. And so I that kind of creative freedom. So, I'm trying to phrase it so you can answer it without maybe getting in trouble with your former overlords. But it feels like, the studios push one way, and then Activision corporate kind of pushes, or corporate overlords from generic company. Kind of maybe pulls the strings or pushes for something that they want for some reason. Usually money.
Yeah, I mean, there's no the devs want money too. I don't know.
Yeah, no one's doing it for free.
Right, exactly. Nobody's doing it for free. It's a job, but they're very passionate about it. Right, everybody's super passionate about it. It's always a. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where it's been no, you can't do that. I mean, maybe. Maybe like AW2, no, you can't do that. That's not an actual quote. That's just through. This hasn't happened yet. And then the other side of it, which is where it's just a disagreement, and it's just no, I think this is better. And it's well, I think this is better. And at some point, it just comes down to, well, you have to go prove it, and you have to figure out how it's better, and then that's where it gets kind of muddy, and it gets a little it gets hard